Hello there, folks, and welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers narrative experience, where today we're experiencing the second round of Eden raids. I'm scared. Let's get straight into it. I'm assuming this is the right guy. Yalfert. Yalfert has arrived in Mordsuk, bearing pertinent information. Impertinent information? Bum, bum, bum. Ah, there you are. I'm part of the team helping with the, highly classified and very, very secret thing. The fact of the matter is, I've come to inform you of a rather interesting development. It's about the girl who was brought back from the empty. She's finally woken up, you see. Nod. Yalfert. And Demajen too. Hi, Ryne. We heard the news from Thancred. Is it true? Why, yes, it most certainly is. Apparently, her name is Gaia. She claims to be a free citizen of Yulmore, though she remembers nothing of the events leading up to her attack on Eden. Interesting, so she's from Yulmore. She's lost her memory. Parts of it, at the very least. We also cannot be sure whether she's telling the truth or if it's merely a ruse. She's yet to display any hostility, which is encouraging, I suppose. And Thancred's with her now, is he? Yes, he's taken her to Yulmore, mainly to verify what she's told us so far. Quiz the locals, that sort of thing. After that, the plan is to come back here, though they're taking rather longer than I anticipated. I do hope nothing is amiss. I think we should probably go and check it out. Or not. Good grief, are you always this slow? At this rate, it'll be dark again before we know it. The night sky returning is all well and good, but it does make each day seem awfully short. Are you still dragging your heels back there? At least act as if you've got a purpose, would you? Oh, so she's snotty. And her upper lips are too big. Now, look here. I'm not one of your servants. Why don't you try carrying your own luggage for a change? Oh, is she a rich, spoilt brat? Thancred, you're back. Ba, 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 ba. You lot are a sight for sore eyes. Yes, even you, Urianger. Gaia and I have just finished shipping her personal effects from Yulmore. I'm glad we could finally meet. Properly, I mean. So, did you learn anything useful? Other than where she lives, not an awful lot. Her supposed neighbours barely knew the first thing about her. Hell, she barely knows the first thing about herself. Her recollection of her life in Yulmore is patchy at best. Oh, those lips are awful. But she seems convinced that she'll regain her memory if she accompanies us, and so she invited herself to join our merry band. But the first act, she ordered me to carry her luggage. If you insist on standing around talking, might I suggest finding a place to sit down first? My feet are killing me. I wonder why. Is it your choice of foot attire? Then perhaps you... Thank you, Thancred. Then perhaps you should have chosen more sensible footwear. Still, it's not such a bad idea, shall we? Ba ba bum. Ba da ba da ba ba da ba 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 ba. Right, let's see what people have to say. Ryne! I've got so many things I want to ask, but I probably shouldn't bombard her with questions. Amnesia. 'Tis troubling, though not entirely unexpected. Well, I've given you my impression of Gaia, but I would be interested in hearing your opinion. Go on and talk to her and see what you make of the situation. Huh. She's got a cool design except for those lips. So you don't remember anything at all? Not attacking us? Not falling unconscious? Such selective amnesia would rightly raise suspicion within those of a cautious mind. Yet, if she doth speak the truth, it would lend credence to my current hypothesis. Though, admittedly, some further... Not now, Urianger. She's only just woken up. We don't want to bore her back to sleep. In any case, I prefer to follow my instincts, and they're telling me that Gaia means us no harm. After much deliberation, I thought it only right to let her know about our work in the empty as a sign of goodwill. After all, trust works both ways. Yeah, that strikes me as a good idea. Though, I would ask you, Demajen, not to let your guard down just yet. Oh, I never let my guard down. So, you're the one I'm supposed to have fought. Come to think of it, I recognise you from somewhere. So you should, consider you tried to kill me. Well, if Thancred's version of events is anything to go by, you weren't exactly holding back yourself. Still, it seems I didn't give you much of a choice but to defend yourself, so let's call it even. Not that I have any recollection of it. It's like remembering fragments of a dream, only to realise those things actually happened. It's as though my whole life has been leading to this. Thou speakest as though thou didst expect these events. I guess you could say that. It's what the fairy tells me. Eh? I can't see it, but it's as though there's someone else inside me and I can hear its voice in my head. It whispers to me and lets me use its power. Magic, I suppose you could call it. Not that I know much about that sort of thing. So she's been possessed. And this power alloweth thee to tear open the fabric betwixt realities, that thou mayst call forth the ether-starved denizens of what remaineth of the 13th. What? Was that supposed to mean something, or are you just spouting random words at me? Honestly, I don't know how you all put up with this. I've only just met him, and his insufferable prattle is already giving me a headache. Gods, I still can't believe I'm having this conversation. And to think that I was flying around in a suit of armour waving a sword. That doesn't sound like me at all. Someone else inside you. Like Minfilia was inside me. Yep. Aye, the similarities cannot be ignored. Though it is too early to say with certainty, Gaia may well be the Oracle of Darkness. The Oracle of Darkness? What does this mean? It means that you may have been right when you said she had something in common with Emmett Selk. Those who have been used as a living host by an Ascian have no recollection of events that occurred during their possession. This I know from personal experience. But Gaia seems to have some memories still, even if they're a little hazy. Moreover, she has remained in control of herself even when she heard the voice within, much like you and Minfilia. And though Ryne was very much her own person, Minfilia's presence did exert a change upon her outward appearance, granting her hair and eyes a hue akin to that of our dear, departed friend. It is therefore not unthinkable that Gaia's raven locks may be a manifestation of the darkness which hath come to reside within her. But I was born like this. And my parents, they both have black hair too. It is of a bluish tinge, however. Or at least, I think they did. It's been so long since I saw them, I can't remember too well. But enough about me. You're Minfilia, aren't you? The Oracle of Light, who they were hosting in Yulmore? That's right, though imprisoning is a better word. They kept me locked away, and I didn't know much about Yulmore and its people, or the rest of the world for that matter. I see. And how exactly did the Oracle of Light come to run with the Warrior of Darkness? Well, it all started when... Talking! Yes, I still remember the day everyone went raving mad and Lord Valkyrie fled. So that was level 69, just before Mount Gulg. Everything after that is still a blur, though. From what Gaia's told me, she wasn't part of the mob that attacked us, but how was she able to resist Valkyrie's control? Nod. Mayhap 'twas the intervention of this fairy of whom she speaketh. Huh. As curious as that may be, we still don't know why she appeared out of nowhere as soon as Eden took flight. This is just a guess, but I'd say that the fairy reacted to it in some way and for whatever reason made me go after it. Yes, that seems like the only explanation. Oh, it's getting up. I don't know about you lot, but I've had enough nattering. I'm going back to Eden. What? But why? The fairy wanted something from Eden, and knowing what that is will bring me a step closer to discovering exactly what has been living in my head all these years. Years? Besides, my memories aren't going to restore themselves, and certainly not through idle chit-chat, so I'm going, and that's that. Gaia, wait. Oh, 2 teenage girls. Insufferable. Utterly insufferable. And yet we can't well leave her to her own devices. Come on. Yes, how old is Gaia supposed to be? She looks roughly teenager-ish. So she's designed to be the counterpart to Ryne. Hold on. You can tell I don't use... Are they floating? No. I don't use the controller enough anything apart from talking. Get away from me! Uh-oh. The emergency music. Ba-da-dum. Is she now going to manifest? Oh, an antlion. She's going to blat it with a giant hammer. Gaia! It seems I've no choice. What? Charm? Time bomb. Wow, vaporized it. What on earth? So she's a mage? What am I? And why is my hair so low resolution? Why are my hands so white? Right. Powers befitting the Oracle of Darkness. When you fought Gaia, she opened void gates, yes? Back in the source, portals such as those were all too common, but tearing open the veil between the 1st and the 13th is a different matter entirely. We should be thankful that she's not of a mind to turn that power against us. For now. Yeah, I suppose all of the shards are connected to the source, but they're not connected to each other. A most fascinating application of ethereal manipulation. The destructive blast did manifest a significant span of time after the initial casting. With sufficient mastery of such a technique, a second spell could be made to smite the target at precisely the same moments. While it would demand exceptional ethereal control, its tactical potential cannot be denied. I'm not entirely sure what I just witnessed. Witnessed? Well, I'm glad she's unharmed. What are you all gulping at? I don't mean to stare, but it's not every day I see magic like that, so this is the power of the fairy you spoke of? Ever since I was a child, it has whispered to me, telling me what to do. That's how I came to use its power. But there are things I can't even explain. Holes ripped in thin air, terrifying creatures crawling out, ghastly-looking blades and armour appearing out of nowhere. But worst of all is the dark energy that comes from inside. This power, it feels as though it's only flowing through me and never truly mine. And even when it answers my call, it always takes a few moments for the spells to work. So in summary, you don't have control over the magic. Well, it's not as if I ever tried to control it. I haven't made a habit of fighting wild beasts. Unfortunately, it's part and parcel of travelling through Emerang, and while I understand that you want answers, you're not going to find them unprepared as you are. But if your heart is set on this, then we'll help you. Ryne, think about what you're saying. You're seriously considering taking Gaia to see Eden? There's no telling what might happen if she loses control again, so the safest option is for her to stay away until our work is done. Somewhere we can keep an eye on her. You must realise it's for her own good. I must concur with Thancred's assessment. At present, we know precious little of Gaia's origin and less still of her powers. If she is indeed the Oracle of Darkness, her presence may complicate a task already fraught with peril, placing our mission and her own well-being in jeopardy. In full knowledge of the risks, dost thou still wish to pursue this course? Nod. I do. It wasn't so long ago that I was living in isolation, being held against my will. Maybe the people keeping an eye on me thought that was for my own good too. But if we shut Gaia away for our own convenience, we know better than Vorther and Manjit. I've learned that when someone is in need, we must reach out a helping hand, not push them away. Now it's my turn to do for Gaia what you've all done for me. Even knowing the danger that lies ahead, I won't choose the easy way out. This is the path I've chosen. Is that good enough for you? Yes. Well, can't say fairer than that. How about you, Urianger? The light of thy spirit doth burn bright. Mine apologies, my dear, but we felt it necessary to test thy resolve. Let it suffice to say thou hast left no room for doubt. It was a test? For what it's worth, Ryne, I never doubted you, but make no mistake, the danger that Urianger and I spoke of is all too real. If you're prepared to go through with this, we'll be right there beside you. This means a lot to me. Thank you. I couldn't care less who I travel with, but if we're going to go, then let's go already. There's supposed to be some sort of craft waiting at the Southern Watchtower, yes? Come along then and don't fall behind. She's very snutty. But not always. She's just impatient. Which I suppose since Umbral, Darkness, is the kind of element of action, that only makes sense. Whereas Ryne is more patient because she is the Oracle of Light. Ba-dam bam bam. Bum bum. Sky Slipper! Why couldn't you leave this craft in Maud Sook instead of all the way out here? Ugh, actually, don't bother explaining. Whatever the reason, I'm sure it's something frightfully uninteresting. Let's be about it, shall we? Of course I'm worried about what may happen when Gaia gets close to Eden. We'll keep a close on her. Make close eye on her. Make sure she's all right. Though our circumstances hath changed, our mission most assuredly hath not. Restoring life to the empty remaineth our primary objective. It might be a bit of a tight squeeze with the 5 of us, but we'll manage. Perhaps Urianger can sit on top of our luggage. Onwards to the empty. And the Final Fantasy VIII world music. Bum, 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 bum. I had hoped that during our absence the rebalancing of ambient ether might work further change. Alas, 'twas not to be. As usual, we shall keep our sojourn here as brief as possible. Let's tend to business quickly. Everything seems fine here as far as I can tell. As for Gaia, she hasn't started attacking anything yet, so I'll take that as a good sign. So, there it is. Ba, 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 ba. 21 minutes into this already. Eden, where I'll find the answers I seek. Possibly. Oh, a new text box for thoughts. The bringer of the flood. The first sin eater. Would it lead me to my past or my future? What awaited on the path ahead I couldn't say, but I had no choice but to take the first step. Bum 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 bum. Interesting. Blood and thunder, so we're going to do remove first. Gaia is lost in thought as she gazes toward the silent giant on the horizon. Quick flick of the head. I know what it's like. It was the same for me. Well, I was lucky because Thancred freed me from Mjolnir and I had a chance to see the world. More importantly, though, I met all kinds of people and they taught me not to live in another shadow, but to be myself. Maybe one day you'll have that chance too. Said your piece, have you? One day? What's that supposed to mean? I don't know how the great Oracle of Light sees such things, but for someone like me who's only known life in Yulmore, there was no tomorrow. There was no future. Only the here and now. And while we waste time on these meaningless conversations, I feel each moment of my life slipping away. Time? No, it won't wait. Not for me, not for anyone. I don't know how much longer I can hold on to who I am. I'm sorry, Gaia. Gaia? Huh. It's probably not even my real name. It isn't? When Thancred asked me my name, I couldn't remember. That's when the fairy whispered to me, Gaia. But if you grew up in Yulmore, surely someone there must know who you are. Everyone I once knew had either disappeared or been turned into sin eaters. Those whose faces and names I still remember, that is. In the end, we found not a single person who so much as recognised me. As far as I can recall, I've never been the most sociable person, but still. Well, even if it's not your real name, I think Gaia sounds lovely. If you're happy with it, then that's what I'll call you. And if you're willing, instead of the Oracle of Light, please call me Ryne. It's not the name I was born with. That's long forgotten now. But the one the people whom I consider family gave to me. Aww. Is that so? Oh, hi. Well, as much as I'd love to keep up this chatting, there's something that's bothering me. I thought the fairy would have reacted to Eden in some way, but so far, nothing whatsoever. From what I gather, it wasn't until Eden started moving that I appeared out of the blue. Perhaps if you were to actually try flying it somewhere, the fairy might break its silence. If you've got elements to install, or whatever it was, why don't you hurry up and get it over with? Ooh. Normally, I'd roleplay, but this is just a me thing to say. And you need to stop wasting my time. Meh. Whatever. All right, everyone. I think we've talked for long enough. If you're ready, let's make our way to Eden. As a teacher, the reminder of using manners is something that obviously I have to do a lot of. Bum, bum, bum. I'm wondering if we're going to get a new battle theme. It's probably going to be... Oh no, it'll be remixes of the Ramu stuff, won't it? My memories, I think they're slowly coming back to me. My mother and father would constantly blather on about how the flood of light could return to end the world when we least expect it, and that we should live each day as though it were our last. They would often say, I wish this moment could last forever. That was until they were selected for ascension by Lord Vorther and were never to be seen again. Since I had no other relatives or even any close friends to speak of, I was left alone in the world. Past like that hardly seems worth remembering, does it? Reen's little chat with Gaia reminded me that for all our obvious differences, there are things we have in common. I too grew up not knowing who my parents were. The day Lewis Fry gave me the surname Waters was one I'll never forget. I keep forgetting that most of these characters do actually have surnames. Thancred Waters. Urianger... Old fart. No, to something or other. It's a D apostrophe one, isn't it? Years later, it was under rather more desperate circumstances that I gave a certain young girl the name Minfilia. Yes, because that's not her original name. Was it Isilia? Something like that. Little did I know then that I would end up crossing time and space, taking on a meaning I could never have foreseen. It came to be passed on to one girl after another, binding them to a fate not their own. In a sense, it may be said that I chose not only one, but two names for Ryne. But by whatever name she is called, she is truly her own person now. And as central to our lives as names are, I believe that it isn't the name itself, but the bond it symbolises that matters most. Urianger... Oh, no, Reen's here. I've done some reading about the lands swallowed up by the flood, but it's no easy task to find locations with the dominant elements. I'm glad we have Urianger to point us in the right direction. Yes. What are you wearing? Oh, that's the 2B stuff. I need to go back and do some more of the copied factory, especially now that we can roll on whatever loot we want. Following the initial changes wrought by the release of water and earth, the MT hath displayed no further signs of alteration. Stability, some may call this, and be satisfied. But in truth, it is passivity. A passivity stemming from light's ever pervasive presence. If we are to break the status quo, we must needs employ a catalyst, a third element that shall rouse and stabilize those unleashed energies in activity. Therefore, I propose lightning. So, the primal would be Ramu? Rama? Yes? From what I've heard, he's a guardian of the forest, not particularly keen on conflict. But you've actually fought him, haven't you? Nod. He's half man, half beard, and another half beard for good measure. Or, I spent most of the time chasing after orbs with varying degrees of success. As a tank, he's mostly beard. But I do like the comment about the orbs. Which is why he's going to be half and half. Yes, Thancred mentioned that he more closely resembles a person than a beast, unlike most other primals. And apparently he tends not to move about much. So he's going to. I'm glad to see our lessons have paid off. Well, it's like you say. If you want to call forth an accurate representation of the primal, I should picture it in my mind as clearly as possible. At the very least, it's worth a try, but the rest is up to Demajen. Oh, so is the half and half and half gonna... In order for this thing to work, we need to actually fly somewhere, yes? So rather than sitting in one spot while you exchange anecdotes, why don't you get this blasted thing moving first? She is sassy and kind of annoying. One must admit... Oh, wrong voice. One must admit the suggestion is not without merit. Ryne, might I suggest the Gandalf Thunder Plains as our next location? These plains, it is writ, were perpetually blanketed in storm clouds, the only source of illumination, the ceaseless barrage of lightning. The ambient ether that lingereth there shall provide ideal conditions for the summoning. And that's the way we're heading. Come on, Eve, we've got a job to do. This should be as good a spot as any. All right, Demajen. Whenever you're ready. Bonk. Memories of Ramu flash through your minds. Eden's Verse Fulmination. Now accessible. Next time, folks, we shall fulminate. Great. What could possibly go wrong? Thank you all very much for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this first snippet of Eden's Verse. I'm assuming that's the story out of the way. There'll be little bits interspersed as we go, but that's the big introduction. Got a bit more about Gaia. She seems a little bit all over the place. Ow, that was my neck that clicked. She seems a little bit all over the place in terms of characterization so far, which basically means she's a teenager. Hey, I work with them. I know what they're like. All their many different colours and shades. I like Gaia's design, but I don't like the top lip filler thing. I think that looks silly on real people. No offence to any of you that have had your lips, kind of top your lips plumped. Just doesn't look natural to me. I know it's considered an attractive thing in some cultures and some places and some time periods. But yeah, it's just no. Not for me. Not for me. I shall catch you all next time where we will fight Ramu. I'm not scared. Not scared at all. It'll be fine. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.